I call this Erotic Las Vegas. Seemed like the way to celebrate ending a job I didn't like. Use half of my last check for gas to and from Vegas and spend the rest on gambling. I dropped my kids off at my ex's for the weekend and headed home. On one of the main drags in Denver, I spotted this tall, thin, gorgeous blonde hitchhiking. After what might have been the world's quickest stop to pick up a hitchhiker, I was soon on my way towards my place. Back when I was in my 20s, the rules of decorum seemed to be different, and right after she accepted my invitation to accompany me to Vegas, I asked her if she wanted to spend the night. She politely accepted, and in less than 20 minutes we were at my house getting naked and getting into bed together. That was the late 70s, before the AIDS scare, and things were really different when it comes to spontaneous sex. Saturday morning we headed back to her house to pick up some clothes for the trip and tell her mom where we were headed. After filling the tank with 30 cents a gallon gasoline, we were soon on the interstate headed west through the Denver mountains. It was early spring, and as night approached, we hit a serious wet snowstorm in western Colorado. Driving through the night in packed snow conditions, I drove at about 50 until fatigue overcame me, and I pulled off the highway to sleep. We were parked on the shoulder with a view of the river we had been following for many hours. We both fell asleep, and hours later I was dreaming that we were still driving, something that happens hours after intense moments. I learned that from technical rock climbing. I woke up with a view of the river over the front of the car and thought we were still in motion. I screamed and stomped on the brake, waking Hasia with a start, needless to say. We got to Las Vegas early Sunday morning and checked into a motel to sleep off the trip. Woke up around noon, took showers, and started making love again. And again. And again. We were in bed for nearly 8 hours of non-stop sex, something I was totally not expecting, and both of us were totally surprised by it. Oh, to be young and sexy, the things you can accomplish. We got up and showered after a short nap and headed to the casinos for what was to prove to be very little gambling before the gambling budget was gone. We got something to eat at one of the $5 a plate all-you-can-eat places and headed back to the motel. Woke up Monday morning and headed to Hoover Dam. Hung out on top of the dam for an hour or so and were soon on our way back to Denver. I dropped Hasia off at her mom's apartment and we never saw each other again. Such was the 70s. 30 years later, I was visiting Vegas with my fiancé, and we ended up in a room near the top of one of the high-rise casinos. We made love on the table in front of the window as we watched all the lights in Vegas come on for the evening, a most memorable experience. That was the last time I ever intended to visit Vegas, but what wonderful memories.